What if I told you that your comfort zone isn't just a mental construct? It's a biological addiction more powerful than any drug. The chemicals your brain releases when you stay in familiar patterns are the same ones activated in clinical addiction studies. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're not making a conscious choice. You're feeding an addiction that's keeping you trapped in mediocrity. The neuroscience is clear. Your brain would rather keep you comfortably miserable than uncomfortably successful. Right now, in this very moment, your brain is firing off signals that will either keep you trapped in your old life or catapult you into greatness. I know this because I've seen it thousands of times. That precise moment, when someone decides to step out of their comfort zone and into their true potential. Let me tell you about Sarah, a woman who came to one of my workshops completely paralyzed by anxiety and decades of comfortable routines. She had a stable job, a predictable life, and what most people would call security. But inside, she was dying a slow death, addicted to the very comfort that was keeping her small. You see, your brain is like a supercomputer that's been programmed by every thought, every emotion, and every experience you've ever had. These programs, we call them neural pathways, are running your life right now, whether you realize it or not. They're telling you to stay safe, stick to what you know, avoid risk, and keep everything the same. It's biology, it's chemistry, and it's holding you back from everything you could become. But here's what's fascinating. Your brain is not fixed. Science shows us that every time you step into discomfort, every time you do something that scares you, you're literally rewiring your neural circuits. You're breaking old patterns and creating new possibilities. This process, neuroplasticity, is your golden ticket to transformation. When Sarah finally understood this, that her discomfort wasn't her enemy but her ally, everything changed. Her anxiety became her compass, pointing her toward growth. The truth is, your comfort zone isn't actually comfortable at all. It's a prison of your own making, built from years of playing it safe, staying small, and listening to that voice that says, not now, maybe later, or what if I fail? But that same brain that created those limitations can break free from them. That's the power you hold right now. Your biology is actually working against you every single day, and understanding this is crucial to breaking free. When you wake up each morning, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals that reinforce your old patterns. These chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, they're not just feel-good molecules. They're the locksmith of your mental prison, creating what scientists call homeostasis, your body's way of maintaining everything exactly as it is. Think about what happens when you try something new. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your mind floods with doubt. That's not weakness. That's your body's hardwired survival mechanism doing exactly what it evolved to do over millions of years. It's trying to keep you safe, keep you alive, keep you exactly where you are. This biological comfort-seeking behavior served our ancestors well, when survival meant staying in the cave, away from predators. But in today's world, it's keeping you trapped in a life that's too small for your potential. I see this every day in my work. There's Michael, successful accountant who spent 15 years building his career. He had the house, the car, the steady paycheck. But when he came to me, he couldn't sleep at night because he knew he was meant to teach, to help others understand money and create wealth. His brain had created such strong patterns around his comfortable life that the mere thought of change triggered anxiety attacks. That's how powerful these neural habits become. They literally rewire your brain to reject anything that threatens your current reality. The price of comfort is steep, and most people don't realize they're paying it until it's too late. Look around you. How many people do you know who are living lives of quiet desperation? They're good people, smart people, capable people, but they're stuck in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and routines that slowly kill their spirit. They've traded their dreams for predictability, their passion for security, and their greatness for comfort. Take Lisa, a woman who spent 20 years saying, I'll start my business next year. Every year, same story, same excuses, same comfort zone. Her brain had become so efficient at maintaining her current life that she had literally lost the neural pathways to even imagine a different reality. That's what comfort does. It doesn't just keep you stuck, it actually erases the possibility of change from your neural architecture. But here's where the magic happens. Your brain is not hardwired, it's dynamic. Every single day, your nervous system is waiting for you to give it new instructions. The science of neuroplasticity shows something remarkable. Your brain is constantly rebuilding itself, creating new neural connections based on your thoughts. actions, and most importantly, your emotional state. When you understand this, you hold the key to complete transformation. Let me explain what happens in your brain when you step into stress. Not the harmful kind, but the growth-promoting kind. Your body releases norepinephrine and cortisol, chemicals that actually enhance your brain's ability to learn and adapt. It's like upgrading your neural software. Scientists at Stanford University discovered that people who regularly push their comfort boundaries show up to 40 more neural pathway development than those who stay in their comfort zones. Think about a muscle. When you stress it through exercise, it grows stronger. Your brain works exactly the same way. Every time you face a challenge, every time you do something that scares you, you're literally building new neural highways. But here's the key most people miss. It's not just about doing something different. It's about combining that action with elevated emotions. When you generate feelings of courage, excitement, and possibility while facing challenges, you create what neuroscientists call enhanced learning states. Your brain releases a flood of neurochemicals, dopamine, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine. That literally stamp these new experiences into your neural circuitry. This is why people can have breakthrough moments that completely change their lives. They're not just thinking differently, they're feeling differently at a chemical level. I've seen this transformation in athletes who break world records and entrepreneurs who build million-dollar companies from nothing, in artists who finally break through creative blocks. They all share one thing: they learn to use stress as a tool for growth. Take Tom, an entrepreneur I work with. Every morning he would deliberately put himself in challenging situations, cold showers, difficult conversations, new skills, while maintaining a state of emotional elevation. Within 6 months, his brain had literally rewired itself. His stress response transformed from paralysis to empowerment. The features on peak performance is crystal clear. The people who achieve extraordinary results aren't the ones who avoid stress. They're the ones who learn to use it. Studies from the Human Performance Institute show that operating at the edge of your comfort zone in what they call the optimal stress zone increases learning capacity by up to 300. Your brain literally becomes more efficient at forming new connections, processing information, and adapting to challenges. Now here's where most people miss their moment of power. They don't recognize their automated behaviors until it's too late. Every single day you run through hundreds of programs you've installed in your brain through years of repetition. The way you wake up, the thoughts you think when you're stressed, your reaction to challenges. These aren't conscious choices, they're automated patterns playing out in your neural circuits. But in every moment, in every situation, there's a microscopic gap between stimulus and response. This gap, this fraction of a second, is where your power to change everything exists. It's in this gap that you can catch yourself before you fall into old patterns. When you feel stress rising, when you want to retreat to comfort, when the old program starts running, that's your moment of conscious choice. I worked with a woman named Rachel who had a pattern of shutting down during important meetings. For years, this automation ran her career. But she learned to recognize the physical signals, the tightness in her throat, the racing heart, the desire to disappear. Instead of letting the old program run, she learned to pause in that gap. She would take a deep breath and consciously choose a new response. Each time she did this, she wasn't just making a different choice. She was literally carving new neural pathways in her brain. This is where consistency becomes crucial. Your brain operates on a use it or lose it principle. Every time you make a conscious choice to override an old pattern, you strengthen new neural connections. But here's the key. You have to keep choosing the new pattern until it becomes stronger than the old one. Scientists call this Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Think about walking through a field of tall grass. The first time you walk a new path, it's difficult. The grass springs back up behind you. But if you walk the same path consistently, day after day, you create a clear trail. Your new behaviors, your new choices, your new responses, they're exactly like that path. Each time you choose them, you make the trail clearer, stronger, more automatic. The moment you step into discomfort, something extraordinary happens in your body. Your heart rate increases, your breathing changes, and your muscles tense. But these aren't just stress responses. They're the biological signatures of transformation. Your body is literally preparing you for evolution, for becoming something greater than you were before. When you face a challenge, your body releases a cascade of hormones: cortisol, adrenaline, and most importantly, human growth hormone. This isn't just about building muscle. It's about rebuilding your entire biology. Research shows that controlled exposure to discomfort triggers your genes to express proteins that make you more resilient, more adaptable, and literally stronger at a cellular level. Take Mark, a former client who was terrified of public speaking. Every time he faced an audience, his body would go into fight or flight mode. But instead of running from these sensations, he learned to recognize them as signs of growth. Each time he stepped onto a stage, his body released growth hormone, his neural pathways strengthened, and his comfort zone expanded. Within 6 months, he wasn't just tolerating speaking, he was energized by it. His biology had literally reorganized itself around his new normal. The science behind this is fascinating. Studies show that when you regularly expose yourself to controlled discomfort, your body begins to produce higher baseline levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps create new neural connections and strengthens existing ones. This is why people who consistently push their boundaries don't just get mentally stronger, their entire biology transforms. I saw this transformation in Jennifer, a woman who came to my workshop barely able to maintain eye contact. Her comfort zone was so small it was suffocating her, but she committed to daily discomfort, cold showers, speaking up in meetings, initiating conversations with strangers. Each uncomfortable moment was reshaping her biology. Her cortisol response decreased, her growth hormone production optimized, and her nervous system learned to interpret challenge as opportunity. The most remarkable thing about discomfort is how it compounds. Every time you choose to stay in a challenging situation instead of retreating to comfort, you're not just building resilience, you're literally upgrading your biological hardware. Your stress response becomes more refined. Your recovery time shortens and your capacity for growth expands. This is why people who embrace discomfort often experience exponential rather than linear growth. The moment you open your eyes each morning is your first opportunity to break free from your old self. Most people start their day by immediately reinforcing their emotional addictions, checking their phone, worrying about the future, replaying the past. They're dosing themselves with the same familiar chemicals before their feet even hit the floor. But when you understand the power of the morning hours, everything changes. Your brain is in its most programmable state during the first hour after waking. The blood-brain barrier is most permeable, your neural networks are highly receptive, and your subconscious mind is most accessible. This is your golden hour for transformation. I teach my students to create what I call a chemical reset first thing in the morning. Instead of reaching for your phone and triggering stress chemicals, sit in silence. When you meditate in this state, you're not just relaxing. You're literally reshaping your brain's chemical landscape. You're breaking the addiction to your morning cortisol spike, to your habitual worry patterns, to your emotional dependencies. Think about this. Every emotion you feel is really just a chemical cocktail in your body. Anxiety, fear, doubt, these aren't just feelings. They're chemical addictions your body has learned to crave. Through consistent morning meditation, you can break these addictions. You learn to generate new emotional states, to create different chemical signatures in your body, to start your day as the person you're becoming rather than the person you've been. One of my students, David, transformed his entire life by changing just this 1 hour. Instead of starting his day with news and emails, he began with 40 minutes of meditation followed by 20 minutes of gratitude practice. Within weeks, his anxiety levels dropped, his creativity soared, and his emotional resilience strengthened. He wasn't just changing his morning routine. He was literally rewiring his brain's default settings. Your brain is a network of about 100 billion neurons, each connected to thousands of others, creating trillions of neural connections. But here's what's amazing. Your thoughts are not just abstract concepts floating in your mind. Every single thought activates specific neural networks, sending electrical signals through your brain like lights in a city seen from space. When you focus your attention on something, really focus, you're directing electrical energy to specific neural networks. It's like shining a spotlight in your brain. The more attention you give to a thought or behavior, the stronger those neural connections become. This is why focused attention is so powerful. It's literally the architect of your brain structure. Scientists have shown that it takes about 10,000 repetitions to hardwire a new skill into your brain. But here's the key most people miss. It's not just about repetition, it's about focused, conscious repetition. When you combine intense focus with deliberate practice, you can create new synaptic connections in as few as 1,000 repetitions. That's the power of directed attention. Think about habits like building a highway in your brain. At first, it's like creating a dirt path, a difficult, requiring conscious effort. But with each focused repetition, each conscious choice to reinforce that pathway, you're laying down more neural pavement. Eventually, what started as a challenging dirt path becomes a superhighway, automatic, efficient, and natural. This is why mindless repetition doesn't create lasting change. You can go through the motions thousands of times, but without focused attention, you're not building those strong neural highways. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water while it has holes in the bottom. The water keeps leaking out because there's no sustained attention to patch the holes. When you truly understand the power of transformation, you realize it's about something far greater than personal success or achievement. You're not just changing your life, you're tapping into a universal field of infinite possibility. Quantum physics shows us that at our most fundamental level, we're not just physical beings having occasional spiritual moments. We're energy beings having a physical experience. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, creates a measurable electromagnetic field that extends beyond your physical body. This isn't mystical thinking, it's scientific fact. When you elevate your consciousness through focused intention and elevated emotion, you're literally changing your energy signature, altering your resonance with the quantum field around you. This is where transformation becomes transcendent. When you break free from your limited patterns, when you step beyond your personal fears and constraints, you're not just rewiring your brain. You're expanding your connection to universal consciousness. You're moving from particle to wave, from separation to connection, from limitation to possibility. I've seen people in my workshops tap into this field and manifest things that defy conventional explanation. They heal chronic conditions, attract unprecedented opportunities, create synchronicities that statistics can't explain. This happens because they've learned to align their personal energy field with higher frequencies of consciousness. They're no longer operating from their individual limited perspective, but from a place of universal connection. This alignment with higher consciousness isn't about escaping reality. It's about accessing more of reality than your limited senses typically perceive. When you understand that your consciousness is part of a vast quantum field of possibility, your personal transformation becomes a gateway to universal evolution. Let me share with you the exact blueprint for transformation that I've seen create extraordinary results time and time again. This isn't about theory anymore. This is about precise, measurable action steps that rewire your brain and reshape your reality. Your day must start before the world wakes up. Set your alarm for 4:30 a.m. I know what you're thinking, that's radical, that's extreme, but remember, if you want extraordinary results, you can't live an ordinary life. In these early morning hours when the rest of the world is sleeping, the analytical mind is quiet, and your access to the quantum field is strongest. Your morning protocol consists of 3 non-negotiable components. First, 20 minutes of breath work. Start with coherent breathing. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. This balances your autonomic nervous system and prepares your brain for change. Next, 40 minutes of meditation focused on your future self, not visualization, embodiment. You're not watching your future self like a movie. You're becoming that person in this present moment. Finally, 20 minutes of gratitude practice, but not for what you have, for what's coming. Feel the emotions of already having achieved your vision. Create what I call a transformation matrix. This is your daily measurement system. Rate yourself from 1 to 10 in 5 key areas: emotional state management, meditation quality, conscious choices, physical energy, and synchronicities noticed. Track these numbers religiously. This isn't just data collection, it's neural feedback that tells your brain what to pay attention to. Throughout your day, set pattern interrupts. Every 2 hours, your phone alarm sounds. This is your consciousness checkpoint. Stop whatever you're doing and ask yourself, am I being my future self or my past self right now? This simple practice prevents you from falling back into automated patterns. Your evening routine is equally crucial. Before bed, spend 15 minutes reviewing your transformation matrix. But here's the key. Don't judge the numbers. Look for patterns. What situations trigger old behaviors? What times of day are you most aligned with your future self? This information becomes the foundation for your next day's growth. When setbacks occur, and they will, implement the 90-second reset. This is based on the neurological fact that an emotional response triggered by the past self lasts about 90 seconds unless you feed it with your attention. When you catch yourself in an old pattern, set a timer for 90 seconds. Breathe deeply, feel the discomfort fully, and remind yourself, this is my body reorganizing itself at a higher level. Create what I call environment anchors. place objects in your regular surroundings that trigger your future self state of being. A specific crystal on your desk, a meaningful photo, a written declaration. These aren't just decorations. They're physical reminders that activate specific neural networks associated with your transformation. Develop a weekly review protocol. Every Sunday evening, spend 1 hour analyzing your transformation matrix data. Look for weekly patterns, identify your strongest and weakest areas, and design specific challenges for the coming week that target your growth edges. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being conscious. Remember, transformation isn't linear. You'll have days when everything flows and days when nothing seems to work. This is not just normal, it's necessary. These fluctuations are signs that your nervous system is reorganizing itself at a higher level. On difficult days, double down on your morning practice. These are actually your biggest opportunities for rewiring your neural pathways. Most importantly, create a transformation tribe. Find at least 3 other people committed to similar growth. Meet weekly, either in person or virtually. Share your matrices, celebrate victories, workshop challenges. Your brain processes transformation more effectively when it witnesses others succeeding at what you're attempting. Listen to me very carefully now, because this is the moment everything changes. This is the moment when knowledge transforms into power, when potential crystallizes into reality, when your future self reaches back through time and grabs you by the shoulders, shaking you awake to your own greatness. You've been living at the surface of your potential, breathing shallow breaths in the shallow waters of comfort, while an ocean of possibility awaits. Every single person who has ever achieved greatness faced this exact moment, this precipice between who they were and who they could become. They all heard the same doubts, felt the same fears, encountered the same resistance from their own minds. But here's what separated them. They understood that transformation isn't a gentle drift into a better life. It's a bold declaration to the universe, a shattering of old paradigms, a complete rewiring of mind, body, and spirit. Think about the greatest figures in history. They didn't ease into their destiny. They seized it with both hands, with full hearts, with complete conviction. Right now, your brain is firing off signals of possibility. The very act of listening to these words is creating new neural pathways. But these pathways will either strengthen into superhighways of change or fade back into the wilderness of unrealized potential. The choice happens not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. It happens right now, in this moment. Take out your phone. Don't just think about it. Do it right now. Set your alarm for 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's not just an alarm setting. That's your declaration to the universe that you're ready for transformation. When that alarm sounds tomorrow, you'll face your first moment of truth. Will you choose comfort or greatness? Will you listen to your past self or honor your future self? Your morning meditation cushion isn't just a place to sit. It's your transformation headquarters. Your breath isn't just air moving in and out. It's the rhythm of reconstruction, rebuilding you from the inside out. Every cold shower isn't just uncomfortable. It's a victory over your limited self. Every conscious choice isn't just a decision. It's a brick in the foundation of your new reality. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for fear to dissolve. Stop waiting for confidence to arrive fully formed. The greatest myth in transformation is that you need to feel ready. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to be willing. Willing to be uncomfortable. Willing to be uncertain. Willing to fail forward into your greatness. The universe doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards decisive action. It doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to bold declarations backed by consistent action. Every master, every leader, every transformer of reality understood this fundamental truth. The gap between who you are and who you could be is crossed by the bridge of disciplined action. Look around you. Everything in your current reality, your relationships, your health, your success, your limitations, all of it is the product of your past choices, your past thoughts, your past energy. But the moment you decide, truly decide, to step into discomfort, to embrace the unknown, to choose growth over safety, you set in motion a cascade of quantum possibilities that begin reshaping your reality at the subatomic level. The time for half measures is over. The time for someday is over. The time for waiting for permission is over. Your genes are listening, your cells are waiting. The quantum field is poised to respond to your decision. Will you remain a creature of habit, bound by the chains of comfort, or will you become a force of nature, aligned with the creative power of the universe itself? Make your declaration now. Stand up. Feel the energy of possibility coursing through your nervous system. Your future self isn't a distant dream. It's a present reality waiting for you to step into it. Every person who ever transformed their life faced this moment of decision. This is yours. The alarm is set. The path is clear. The science is proven. The method is tested. All that remains is your decision, not just to change, but to be changed, to be transformed, to be rebirthed into the highest version of yourself. Your transformation begins now, not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Now, take that first step. Set that alarm. Make that commitment. Your future self is waiting, and the universe is conspiring in your favor. The time is now. Rise up. Step forward. Become who you were born to be. Now, let's turn this understanding into action. Transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice of conscious evolution. Your new life begins with a non-negotiable commitment to daily rituals. Start with a 40-minute morning meditation before your feet hit the floor. This isn't optional. It's as essential as breathing. During this time, visualize your new life with such clarity that your brain can't tell the difference between your vision and reality. Create what I call a transformation scorecard. Every evening, rate yourself on 3 crucial metrics: your emotional state throughout the day, the number of times you caught yourself in old patterns and chose differently, and the intensity of your morning practice. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness and adjustment. When setbacks occur, and they will understand that they're not failures, they're feedback. If you miss a morning practice, don't wait for tomorrow. Create a reset moment right then. Remember, your body doesn't know the difference between past and future. It only knows this present moment. You can begin again with your next breath. Set up environmental triggers for your new patterns. Place meditation cushions by your bed. Set specific alarms for practice times. Create a dedicated space for your transformation work. Your environment should make your new choices easier than your old ones. Right now, in this moment, you stand at the crossroads of who you've been and who you're capable of becoming. Everything we've discussed, the science of transformation, the power of discomfort, the morning rituals, the neural rewiring, it all comes down to this moment, this choice, this commitment to something greater than comfort. Your future self is calling you forward. That version of you who has broken free from limitations, who has rewired their brain for greatness, who has aligned with the quantum field of infinite possibility, they exist right now in this field of potential. They're not waiting for someday. They're waiting for your decision in this moment. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for fear to disappear. Don't wait for comfort to give you permission. The time for transformation is not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. It's right now. Your brain is waiting for new instructions. Your genes are waiting for new signals. The universe is waiting for your declaration. Take out your phone right now. Set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier tomorrow morning. That's your first meditation window. That's your first step into greatness. That's your first moment of choosing discomfort over limitation. The future belongs to those who dared to be uncomfortable today. Make your decision. Start your journey. Your transformation begins now.